Blood on the Snow, probably much too expensive for this deck. I don't think it comes down too late. Alright, we'll keep this. Am I on the play or the draw? I am on the play, so I can lead on Haunted Ridge. Okay, opponent's on some sort of red deck. Usually Shatterskull at the current moment seems to indicate aggressive. Opponent is in fact on green-red. Gives us a valid target for Spikefield Hazard. I'm not going to complain. More removal, alrighty. More removal, still not going to complain. Pup. Yeah, Tenacious Pup and Magda is a really weird combo. It's not particularly ideal to give Magda Vigilance. I have not yet figured out how to manage that well. I think I want to foretell Behold the Multiverse here and probably just Infernal Grasp whatever they play next off of Tenacious Pup. Hopefully it's some 4-drop thing. Hopefully it's a 4-drop haste creature and not a 4-drop dragon, because I really don't want my lands to start burning. Just a Stormseeker. Okay. Bummer that I can't Abrade that because of Pup. Oh, please don't also have the... Oh god, they do. Yikes. Yeah, main deck Snakeskin Veil, extremely good. That puts me in a pickle. I need more removal spells, not lands. I need actual removal spells for Reckless Stormseeker. Okay. Well, I'm probably dead, because Snakeskin Veil is a very good card. Alright, Ranger class is an abradable target. I got just so wrecked by Tenacious Pup and Snakeskin Veil, putting this Reckless Stormseeker barely out of range of all of my removal. You have more, opponent? No, okay. Have I got any 1-mana bounce spells? No. Unfortunate. So I could play Lier here, which doesn't do me as much good as playing Lier next turn does. But 6, 7, 8. If I play Lier, I have the potential to do a chump block. And I prevent the opponent from playing any 1 toughness creatures because I can hold up Spikefield Hazard. If I play Unexpected Windfall, I have the chance to draw into removal spells. I play around different things. I think I gotta go with playing the Lier here, because it does at least prevent the Tenacious Pups from getting in the best case scenario. And I think I'm gonna need that life, but I could just die immediately if they have a good follow-up to Reckless Stormseeker. Yeah, Werewolf Pathway is pretty good. That just kills me, right? No, doesn't just kill me, but kind of makes me wish I had gone with the Unexpected Windfall line. Feel like they put the counter on the wrong creature there. Because I do actually get to kill the Werewolf Pack Leader now. Alright, we're gonna need a bounce spell. We found a Sorin. That's not good enough, right? Because the Stormseeker has Trample? Yeah, that won't be good enough. Okay. We've already cast 1 spell. Unfortunately, because of the Ranger class, the Tenacious Pups are also lethal. If I play Sorin and bluff Fading Hope, is that anything? It potentially makes them less likely to attack with Tenacious Pup, but I think they would still attack in a way that is lethal. Still, I think them trying to kill me in 2 turns instead of 1 around Fading Hope is my real out, which also means I need to hold full control. And should have held full control before casting the Sorin. Yeah, okay. That gets around Fading Hope anyway. Alright, Infernal Grasp, Parasitic Grasps, and Sorin, and I believe we are cutting Discover the Formulas. I don't know if I'm supposed to cut Hullbreaker Horror in this kind of spot. I don't think so. I think I'm probably supposed to bring in more horrors. I can probably cut Iteration and an Epiphany. And then maybe Celestus, but maybe I'm supposed to have the card advantage, or the color fixing from that still. I wonder if I'm just supposed to cut the Epiphanies entirely and just have Hullbreaker be the top-end plan. Makes the Unexpected Windfalls kind of questionable, I suppose. But I think that's probably still right. Oh, yeah, it is a good point that even if they'd had a Magda with the pup trigger on the stack, it would have come down as a 2 toughness creature that didn't die to Spikefield Hazard. That's true. That's true. Although the Spikefield Hazard did still wind up mattering, just not in a way I would have originally expected it to. Okay, I think we keep this, hope to top deck some interaction, and it gives us Sorin on 4, at least. Although in order to do that, I need to play no blue spells, which maybe is questionable. Alright, Celestus isn't bad. I do dislike... Opponent being heavy on pup makes a lot of my 3 damage removal spells really terrible. I don't know how to feel about that. It does not make Infernal Grasp bad, though, so that's nice. I think I'm probably supposed to Infernal Grasp this pack leader before they can untap and protect it. Okay. What are your follow-ups here, opponent? More pups. Mini pups. Alright. Well, my mana got fixed by that Shipwreck Marsh, so hopefully Sorin's little 2/3 can hold down the fort. The opponent can kill Sorin if they're willing to lose a creature for it and give me 2 life. Opponent can also play Lupine Harbinger very big, which makes my life awkward. Not horrific, but awkward. Okay, opponent just goes face with the Harbinger, which means I get to down tick Sorin again. It's kind of nice. And then we get to just play Lier. I don't know how much that holds back, but opponent's representing Snakeskin Veil off of the Despair Sentinel. I need to buy enough time to play Hullbreaker Horror? Wow, Riddle Blast. That's super mana inefficient. I'm kind of confused that that came in at all, but okay, it works there. Alright. So we have Celestus. We get to play Behold the Multiverse here into Hullbreaker Horror, which might mean that even though our Sorin has done literally nothing, its presence might do enough here to have bought us enough time for Horror to win? I think that might be what happens. I guess I have to block here or I just die to... Snakeskin Veil. I don't like that. Alright. I hate this block, but I think I'm supposed to do it. I gain a lot of life and all I lose is one vampire. So it's not the end of the world. Two horrors. Two horrors does sound pretty good. I mean, Sorin also sounds good, but two horrors sounds real good. Do I want my opponent to be able to turn it into night? I gain a life, but Rahilda gets double strike. Not fun. No. Okay. No night. I want Rahilda to die to the 2-3 if they try to attack into this horror. Seven 8 should be pretty hard for the opponent to handle. Opponent agrees a 7-8 is hard for them to handle. Yeah, sure, we'll draw a card. Yeah, sure, we'll loot away our land. Alright. Draw more lands. Works for me. That's a good plan. I can cast a lot of copies of Parasitic Grasp currently. 3, gain 9 life. Kill Rahilda and the Lupine Harbinger. Bounce a bunch of other stuff. That's pretty exciting, but also I could just play another Hullbreaker Horror, which also sounds pretty good. Honestly, a lot of things sound really good right now. Why not wait and use the Horde Flash skill? Yeah, I'm kind of just looking at my options, because honestly all my options lead to winning. I'm not sure which option leads to slightly more winning, though, which is probably supposed to be the ideal. Let's see. I think I start attacking at this point. The opponent kind of just has to chump block, right? Yeah. Two, three, three. Yeah. We can let it flip tonight. We gain some life by doing so. Draw a card, discard a card. Howdy, Hogpog. How's it going? Alright. Opponent, you want to attack with everything? So I would like to cast a Galvanic, and I'm not going to bounce anything. And I'm not going to bounce anything. I'm going to cast a Galvanic, and I'm not going to bounce anything. And I'm not going to bounce anything. And we're going to Parasitic Grasp, and we're going to kill that Rahilda. And I guess we're going to bounce Lupine Harbingers because I forgot it had Vigilance. They do in fact have Snakeskin Veil. Sure. And we're going to kill that Jaspera Sentinel. And then we're going to kill the other Jaspera Sentinel. And we're going to hope the opponent doesn't somehow find lethal off of these two Rahilda hits. First hit hits. Answer to Hullbreaker Horror. Yeah, sort of. Second one hits. Mid-range threat. Alright. If the opponent had, like, 5 more mana, that would be concerning. Okay, they play Sorin. Sure. 2/3 Vampire with lifelink. Sure.
You fight for me
now. Let's see. Opponent's actually at 20 life. Kind of rude. Alright, well, what if we destroyed their vampire and put a Sorin in my hand and put a Rahilda in their hand? Oh, no. Okay, we're done. That's fair. Yes, the gain 3 life is an extremely important part of Parasitic Grasp. Would not be playing it otherwise. Let's see. I do think that plan still was mostly correct, but yeah, I'm not convinced in this matchup. I wonder if I really ought to be cutting the third Sorin for a third Meathook Massacre. I'm kind of beginning to think that is the correct move. How am I feeling about the current list? Pretty happy. I think it's what I'm going to play. I don't think that the aggro matchups are as good as I would like the deck to be like, thrilled with it, but it beats up control good, and that makes me feel like a happy person. And I'm going to value being a happy person. Jeez. Oh, well, you know what? I was going to complain about my opponent having the Tenacious Pup against my Abrade, like every time, but they have decided to mulligan to nothing, so I don't care. Also, they played something that still dies to Abrade anyway, so you know what? Deal, opponent. I accept. Ooh. Abrade's tempting. That kind of makes me want to leave this up rather than foretelling Behold the Multiverse. I think I'd rather just clear the board of whatever they play this turn and then play my Sorin. What do I do if they don't play anything? Do I Abrade the Tenacious Pup? No, I don't think I do. Oh, Lier the Hydra activation, sure. So, if they play a 4-mana hasty threat, they swing at Sorin. If there wasn't a pup, I could block with the 2-3 and put Sorin to 1. Because there's a pup, they can still kill the Sorin, which I think means that if they swing with everything at the pup, if they play a 4-mana haster, then I'm blocking the Tenacious Pup. Ooh, Stormcharged Slasher is better than a 4-mana haster. That gets to attack Sorin and kill it no matter what, and I don't get to eat the pup. That's real disappointing. Alright. Very well, opponent. You've got it. That was pretty good. Well, let's see. So many cards, so many options, so little time. I could try to turn the Stormcharged Slasher back, but I don't think I can do that and actually do anything like wicked meaningful. I think I'm just playing a land and leaving up Abrade and Divide by 0, probably. Howdy, VC. Grixis is doing pretty well. I don't have any complaints anyway. Doing completely acceptably. I think better than the control, or the Esper list that I was playing, actually. Although, that may have been variance. I still think the Esper list is better against aggro than this is. But this is certainly doing acceptably against aggro. Okay. How much do I want to remove this Lier of the Hydra? Do I care at all? I think the answer to that might be no. I feel like I'm abrading and then Spikefield Hazarding the Stormcharged Slasher here. Which I guess I should have done after the Lier of the Hydra activation and before the Stormcharged Slasher trigger. I just didn't really think about it fast enough. Alternatively, Unexpected Windfall. I probably want to block the pup. I can always abrade this thing later. Nah, not really, actually. I want to get ahead on mana by casting Unexpected Windfall, but I don't think that I'm supposed to. I think I'm just supposed to mitigate as much damage as possible here. Okay, Fading Hope's pretty cool. Cards are pretty cool. I'm happy with all these. I mean, I'm not, like, super happy with Fading Hope, but it is at least fun against Lair of the Hydra. Magda, okay. Well, do I bother Fading Hoping here? I don't actually think I do. I don't think preventing 3 damage is worth very much to me. Do I bother Infernal Grasping the Magda? I guess them making treasures does represent Lair of the Hydra getting bigger. The math on Infernal Grasping Lair of the Hydra or Fading Hoping Lair of the Hydra would be pretty different if the opponent didn't have multiple layers in play. And by multiple, I mean every layer. All of the layers. Every single one. Okay, we're probably Unexpected Windfalling, discarding something here, then I'm assuming that that actually makes it Fading Hope, because I do want to try to make the land drop, and holding up Divide by 0 is probably better than holding up Fading Hope. Or we could miss the land drop and draw Fading Hope, so that works too. Very well. Having drawn another Fading Hope, I'm pretty comfortable just Fading Hoping the Tovolar, and just having a bunch of Fading Hopes with Lier in play. That seems like a way to win the game. I don't need more Liers. 1 is plenty. Land drops. Love to see it. Play a Lier. Pass the turn. And that leaves us with a lot of removal spells for Lair of the Hydras. And also a lot of removal spells for Tovolar. Opponent played a green-red creature that turns me into a Murloc. Yes. Alright, let's... What am I discarding here? Do I want to discard anything? Probably not. We'll Infernal Grasp Tovolar. I might as well be mana efficient. And now, hopefully we draw an untap land so I don't have to play anything at sorcery speed. Tap land works. The ideal is mostly just that I do not have to cast Behold the Multiverse at sorcery speed and get to have up as much mana as possible. Werewolf Pack Leader. Okay, that's a magic card that gets abraded. Lair of the Hydra gets animated for how much? 4? 4 is big enough to not die to Abrade. So I guess it'll have to die to Fading Hope instead. Oh wait, I guess I got Abrade it plus Spikefield Hazard? Is that what I want to do? That's probably what I want to do. Alright. 3 damage. And 1 damage. And then we'll resolve Behold the Multiverse. Lands Behold the Multiverse sound fine. I definitely need more card advantage right now, so keeping Behold the Multiverse on top is not in any way a mistake. And then we Abrade the Werewolf Pack Leader. And now I think we start clocking the opponent. Opponent can animate Lair of the Hydra to try to do damage to us, which removes a Fading Hope from our graveyard. Opponent attacks with a Lair of the Hydra, which gets put back into their hand. And I don't really want a Jwari Disruption right now. I would like to make some more mana, so we're going to discard this land, and then hopefully draw land, and we drew land. Perfect. We get to make a land drop, swing with Lier. Leave it up to the opponent to decide what happens next. Imagine there's a pretty good chance the opponent's going to animate Lair of the Hydra and then attack with it. Opponent animates Lair of the Hydra. and then attacks with it. We cast Behold the Multiverse, trying to find out if we can find some removal spells. I don't really need these anymore. I think we got enough card draw for the time being. Meathook Massacre. There were times where that was a cool card. Those times are not currently right now. So we're going to discard them, make some mana with Unexpected Windfall. Don't find a removal spell, so I guess we're just going to Infernal Grasp the Lier, go down to 5. We can probably live with that. Galvanic Iteration. Well, that probably does some fun things. So I guess we're going to Galvanic Iteration, and we're going to Galvanic Iteration, and then we're going to Unexpected Windfall. We're going to draw some cards. We still have a Fading Hope, so we have another Fog on the Lair of the Hydra. Find a Hullbreaker Horror. Alright. Hullbreaker Horror seems like a win con. Fading Hope seems like an answer to other stuff. Alright. Let's make this simple. I'm just going to put this Hullbreaker Horror into play, and then my opponent's going to concede while I decide what cards to discard. And I guess we're going to discard a land. Alright. Thank you for letting me make that decision first, opponent. I think that was important for my growth as a player. Admittedly, they mulliganed a ton, and that was basically the deciding factor in that game. But I'll take it. I mean, realistically, the game is over when you untapped with Lier plus a bunch of cards in the graveyard and they had no cards in hand. Realistically, but I would say there is at least half a percentage chance that I draw like 10 lands in a row, and then they probably win that game if I draw 10 lands in a row without drawing anything else. That's not likely, but it is definitely possible. I'm kind of uncertain if... I should foretell A-Alrund's Epiphany against a Lair of the Hydra deck because the blockers matter. Against a control deck, then discover the formula potentially representing a cost discount, I think means that I don't foretell it, but this is a matchup where blockers matter. Alright, I hate my opponent playing Kessig Naturalist on turn 2. There's a card that's so bad against aggro decks that just play a creature that's bigger than it, but so very good against me because it ramps them. I could divide by 0 it, which means they're resolving a different 3-drop that's a problem. I think I'm probably supposed to play Celestus and hope to hit an untapped land. I don't know what I'm doing with an untapped land. It's probably divide by 0, but yeah. It's better than missing this untapped land, because that'd be real bad. Yeah, and they get to upgrade Ranger class. I hate that. Alright. Meathook Massacre is not an untapped land. It is, however, pretty good, actually. You know what? I'll forgive you, deck. You didn't do what I asked, but that's probably better anyway. Wreck with Stormseeker? No, that card's good. Alright, now we need an untapped land. Oh, hey, Fading Hope is still worse than an untapped land this time around, but I do appreciate it. I should probably Fading Hope the Stormseeker before they have the opportunity to play... There's the land. Okay. What do you call it? Snakeskin Veil. Werewolf Pack Leader. Okay, that resolves. Interesting order they chose to do it in, because this is a lot worse against Jwari Disruption, which is a card I could theoretically have. Probably not, since I missed land drops, but, you know, theoretically. I think I go with Environmental Sciences here. Does it matter what land I get? Not really. Alright, so I get to divide by 0 a creature this turn. Next turn I get to play Lier plus Unsummon. Do you have any opinions on the best versions of the Black Sacrifice deck? I don't have opinions really on what the best version of the Black Sacrifice decks are, because as far as I can wager, the different versions have different good matchups. I suspect a red-black version is probably the best, because I think that it's got the best game against the various control decks. I think that's probably what I would try to prioritize being good against, but the mono-black and the white-black and the three-color versions are probably better against aggro decks and to various extents good against one another. So it's entirely possible that some of the mid-range versions are better overall. I don't think that is the choice I would currently make to optimize for. So opponent knows I have Fading Hope. I imagine I'm always supposed to Fading Hope Stormseeker. But how do I best play around Snakeskin Veil? Depends on how the opponent sequences this, I suppose. Opponent decides not to play the Stormseeker. Interesting. Okay, well, yeah, Pack Leader can attack. I don't really want to Fading Hope that. Howdy, Luna Knight. How goes it? Ooh, Arlen. Now that's very weird, because they could have played Arlen and then put the counter on Pack Leader and attacked with 2 creatures and drew a card with Werewolf Pack Leader. So, like, I guess I would have Fading Hoped the Werewolf Pack Leader if they had done that, and then hoped they didn't have Snakeskin Veil, is the logic here. But they have the Snakeskin Veil? No, they have a 1-drop that they can play with Arlen? Is that what's happening there? Didn't hit the untap land. There was a pretty tempting line to divide by 0 the Meathook Massacre, and then play it for 2 if we had, and then I would get to try to punch the Arlen, and I hope the opponent didn't have a 1-drop. But oh, no, they held priority because they have Lair the Hydra ability activating. Yeah. Bummer. Untap land really would have helped. I guess I could divide by 0 the Meathook Massacre and loot to try to hit an untap land. But that's pretty awful if I whiff. I also have to remember that I have this A-Alrund's Epiphany that could matter at some point. Alright, I think I'm just passing here. The opponent's uptick on Arlen is going to be pretty annoying because it makes my board wipes not excellent. The opponent can attack with Ascendant Pack Leader. The Wolf tokens too? That's a little surprising. I guess they just want to push through damage. Okay, block a 2/2. Tovolar. Well, I'm super okay with the timing of that, because now I just get to divide by 0 that, don't I? I guess that means I can't Unexpected Windfall, which might be bad for me. Yeah, we'll take a Teachings. I don't think I get to use this anytime soon, but I could theoretically discard it to Unexpected Windfall. Meathook Massacre gains us a bit of life. Goes being sad that some recently scheduled Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff in February all got canceled. Yeah, cancelled. Yeah, I feel that. Okay, so opponent played a Ranger class. Pupper with a... Wait, any creature? Oh. Not just stuff that got cast. Tokens too. Neat. Alright, well, let's get rid of the Arlen, because I don't want my opponent's stuff having flash. Opponent jump blocks with a 3/3. Sure. We gain some life. We make some birds. We do the attacking thing again. We make some lands. This should be pretty comfortable. Alright, and I think we Unexpected Windfall, discarding Teachings. I can't remember if I made a land drop already. But I got lots of cool cards, and that's also pretty swell. Let's Abrade before our opponent can draw a protection spell and gain a bit of life and pass the turn. So we still have Divide by Zero up. We have an Abrade up if we want that. We have blockers. Opponent has Stormseeker and Tovalar. And we are going to kill the Stormseeker and gain some life. Opponent can attack with a 3/3 wolf. Sure. We can chump block a 3/3 wolf. Yes. Opponent takes some damage. We draw more removal spells. That seems great. Let's kill a wolf. And let's kill the other wolf and keep gaining some life. Everybody's happy. Mostly me. Not everybody that includes definitions that are like the opponent, but yeah, you know. You win some, you lose some. Opponent plays a land. Oh, Reckless Stormseeker. Alright, there's a card. Well, we will bounce the Stormseeker. What am I doing with this Divide by Zero? I guess I can discard Discover the Formula. I don't really need 4 copies of Discover the Formula. 3 is probably going to be enough. Right, I imagine we should Infernal Grasp the Pack Leader. Only costs 1 life. Do not mind seeing that at all. Can attack with Lier, leave back a 1/1. I can probably play Mascot Exhibition now and not be too in danger. We still have Infernal Grasp up. I feel like I have probably won. I'm a little surprised the opponent isn't activating Ranger class. I kind of felt like they would need that. They're still using their mana mostly mana efficiently, just not like entirely mana efficiently. Let's see, if I put everything on Rahilda, it probably still dies, but I might as well just kill it instead, because that seems like easier math. Ooh, and then A-Alrund's Epiphany seems like a pretty good deal. Like, I don't know whether this is lethal, but I'm pretty sure it's lethal next turn. Was not lethal, in fact. Okay. Opponent forgot about the Meathook Massacre triggers, and that made all the difference in the world, huh? Alright, let's see. I want Parasitic Grasp, and I want Infernal Grasp, and I think I've decided I want Hullbreaker Horror in these kind of situations. I think I can cut the Epiphanies. I think I can trim Galvanic. Did we just wind up cutting Discover the Formula as well? I feel like that's probably what happened. That sounds right. And then we just bring in a Sorin that I probably wish was a 3rd Meathook Massacre? I should probably make that change, because I keep feeling like that in most matchups. I suppose that Brushstroke decks are probably the one type of deck that I would prefer the 3rd Sorin against. And even then, 3rd Meathook isn't actually bad. This hand's pretty rough unless we draw a blue source, so we're going to keep and draw a blue source, and then everything will work out fine. Alright. Tenacious Pup, kind of concerning, but admittedly, Infernal Grasp is one of the better removal spells to be using on turn 2 in response to a Tenacious Pup. Not as good as, like, a removal spell that doesn't cost 2 life. Ooh, alright. Are we gonna draw on a Abrade or, no, nothing. Okay. Okay. Kessig Naturalist down. Don't want my opponent ramping. We drew blue mana though, so we get to hold up Divide by 0 next turn. That's great. Ranger class, alright. Hullbreaker Horror, that'll be good eventually. Probably, should I let it turn today, or turn tonight? I think holding up Divide by 0 was worth more than just fading opening the token then. Alrighty. Opponent activates Ranger class. We hope they put the counter on the token. They probably put it on the pup because that's better. They do put it on the pup because that's better. Parasitic Grasp. Good against a lot of their creatures, not good against the board currently, so I think that goes to the bottom. Alright, Tenacious Pup gets a little bit bigger. I could just try to Unexpected Windfall into Horror, and the opponent probably can't deal with that. That's probably better than playing a Sorin. It doesn't even work stellarly right now because the Tenacious Pup threatens to kill it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hullbreaker Horror is probably the better play currently. Admittedly a little disappointing, because it's not as fun as playing a Sorin. Reckless Stormseeker is a good card. Reckless Stormseeker is an extremely good card. I might not be able to horror fast enough. Couldn't you have had a bad card to play this turn, opponent? So if I Windfall, I play Horror next turn. This turn I'm taking 8 damage, going to 6. With Lier of the Hydra, that's actually not good enough. This is a problem. This be a legitimate problem. I think I'm supposed to take Environmental Sciences. Now ideally I hit a Fading Hope off the top. No, we hit a land. I think I Windfall into Environmental Sciences here to turn it back to day. I'm not super enthusiastic about this. They don't play the... okay. They post-combat Tovolar and don't draw a card? Alright. Alright, well, I think I'm sorcery speeding Horror and hoping they don't have a way to kill me. Because oh, Tovolar turns it to night anyway. That means they kill me, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Shoot. Tovolar is good. Tovolar is good. Wow. I'm kind of blown away that the Stormcarved Slasher managed to do that. So, the turn that it turned into night... Did I do that or did they? I think it was already night, wasn't it? Oh yeah, I do have a YouTube now that is mostly edited version of the VODs so far, but I do want to end up making more content that's specifically for it eventually. So far it's been getting used to how to do the editing and doing it in a timely manner. But I think I'm getting kind of decent at that. So I can see myself trying to make more videos on weekends when I'm free. No changes still, I don't believe. I'm thinking, I don't recall whether that last game the opponent had a... If in that last game I turned it to night by not sorcery speeding the Windfall, then that was a pretty big mistake. But I don't think that was the case. but it might have been. I should throw this hand away. I'm not willing to throw this hand away. I should really probably have thrown this hand away, though. More land's not good. Concerning. Deeply, deeply, deeply concerning. At least this will be educational. Alright. No. Bad auto-tapper. Leave up red mana. Bluff having Abrade. Do not want Celestus at this point. Okay, so the opponent has not currently... Stormseeker the problem, yeah. I wanted them to not have that. There's the Abrade a turn late. We would have had this game locked up so easy, Abrade, if you had shown up a turn earlier. Oh well. I think the plan is to just remember to sorcery speed the Windfall so the Stormseeker doesn't get to have it be night, and just draw the Horror, and nothing was ever wrong. At any point in the game, everything was great. Arlinn, Pax Hope, sure. I assume that down ticks, and then I assume I get to Meathook for 3? Shilling in Mengu's chat. Well, as long as he didn't have a problem with it, then thank you. I could have played the Horror there. I don't know if that would have been better. But this seems pretty cool too. You can't just say body of research. You're gonna make me really sad that I'm not still casting Body of Research into Thud to deal 20 damage to my opponent's face. Because I miss that a lot. Alright, opponent. How scary do things get? Tovolar. Okay. That means they get to attack with a lot of very big creatures through Hullbreaker Horror. But it's not quite lethal. It's only putting me to 4. Right? If I don't block, 11 plus 3. So they can put me to 1. I guess I'm really lucky they didn't have an untap land, or else I would have been forced to chump block Tovolar. Or, well, trade block Tovolar. Okay, I'll take it. Opponent gets to draw 2. We find ourselves in a somewhat concerning scenario where the opponent has infinity cards and my life is at nothing, but I'm going to have a Hullbreaker Horror in play and that should be good enough. Okay, activating a Ranger class with 5 cards in hand is probably a pretty strong indication that the opponent has protection spells? No, is in fact not an indication of that at all. Interesting. Yeah, well, I want to destroy the pack leader, and I want to return Tovolar. Should I bounce Arlinn? Probably. Galvanic Iteration seems pretty good with Hullbreaker Horror. I'll find another spell to cast eventually, one way or another. Probably can't attack with Hullbreaker Horror when my opponent has a Lair of the Hydra in play, unfortunately. I think... do I have to Jwari Disruption Arlinn because I don't want them to get 2 wolf tokens? Huh. Maybe? I have to be pretty concerned about the amount of resources my opponent gets, because the way I lose this game is if I run out of cards over the next couple of draw steps, which means I have to try to be as efficient as possible. Now, if I Jwari Disruption this A-Alrund, all I'm doing is getting tempo from bouncing the A-Alrund and denying them 2 wolf tokens this turn. Versus... I think I still have to do that? I could, like, try to Jwari Disruption the Tovolar to get card advantage and then bounce the A-Alrund, but I think letting them have the tokens is too much. Oh, that I can bounce my own Meathook. Yeah, you know what? That's a good line. That's a good line I should remember exists. Should I just do that now by playing Galvanic Iteration and bouncing the Meathook Massacre? Or probably not. I'm probably, now that I drew Sorin, fine without doing that line. I just keep bouncing their creatures, holding up Infernal Grasp, and getting my lifelinkers in play. I could also attack with Hullbreaker Horror and actually start trying to clock their life total. I think I don't want to do that. There's the Ranger class to consider, there's a Lair of the Hydra to consider, and they could have Snakeskin Veil, which threatens to kill my Sorin, and I really don't want that to happen. Okay. Avaric Caretaker seems like a concern, because that'll have Hexproof. I guess I could still wind up bouncing the Meathook Massacre, and then just casting it for 4. Yeah, okay. I guess that's what I'm doing. That seems better than, like, tempoing it with an Infernal Grasp that loses me life in a way I don't actually want to have happen. I'm probably supposed to use Galvanic Iteration to do this. Okay, Galvanic Iteration is a pretty decent draw. I don't think I want to downtick Sorin here. Maybe I do. I probably don't. I think we bounce the Ranger class. Having that second and third ability off the board seems like a useful use of my time here. Okay, I definitely need to remember that horror bouncing Meathook Massacre is a thing, and also that divide by zeroing Meathook Massacre is a thing. Because that is pretty good. Oof. Alright, I'm gonna go use the restroom. I wasn't done talking, but I decided to mute myself. And then we're gonna go put a third Meathook Massacre in the sideboard, and cut the third Sorin.